Good morning, my lovelies, and welcome back to my Creative Reawakening videos to help any creative people out there get through their blockages and move through any cloudiness and stuck feelings that they have to get back creating and being in touch with their beautiful, true inner selves and inner childs and live a life of joy and happiness and creation. So welcome back. If you've been here before, I'm going to jump right in. So today I wanted to talk about the rules of art and creating and how we need to let that shit go. Today, I, the Dragon Queen, give you permission to throw out all the rules that you've read about, that you've watched on other videos, that you've heard about from any other artist. This could go into, the rules of you have to do it this way. That color doesn't go there. This is the proper technique. It has to look realistic. You must use an outline. It has to be a black outline. Colors only work this way. These are the only colors you're supposed to use together. Who decided all of that anyway, right? Well, probably the artist at the time who was creating whatever piece or whatever style that came up at that certain time, whether it be like realism, impressionism, anything that's abstract. There's different rules for different types of art depending upon who we look to for that person to be the expert in that realm of that type of art, right? Forget all that. Today, I want you to throw out all the rules because this is where true art movements are started. People threw out the rules that they've read. They followed their soul and their creative spark of how they want to do it, of experimenting of different things. Just because somebody says, oh, you're not supposed to use watercolor with oil color, or you're not supposed to use this with that. There's certain ways and techniques you could use them together to create a wonderful piece that doesn't necessarily follow the rules of how you're supposed to do that type of art or that type of painting or whatever it is. I'm just using painting as an example because it's much easier to do. So this could go for music, for working with clay, for writing poems. Throw out all the rules today, you guys. You have my permission. If anybody gives you shit about it, send them my way and tell them that I told you that you could do it. So, technique and knowledge isn't bad, right? It's not bad to know about these things, to learn different ways of putting the paint on a canvas or a palette in the way that it can inspire, evoke certain feelings, show depth in certain ways, and that's all fine and lovely. We could use knowledge and techniques to our advantage, but there does become a point where it becomes a box that we put ourselves into of this is how it has to be done, and that's the only way. And we do that in other aspects of life as well. It's not just with creating. But since I am only speaking to creators, this is what we're talking about. So apply it to other parts of your life if you can, as you wish. But as far as the techniques go, use them for what they are good for and for learning and knowledge. But when you really feel the joy of just sitting down and creating again, like you probably used to as a child, the rules don't matter, because how are we supposed to experiment and try new things if we're just following these set rules of how we're supposed to do something? Most artists didn't develop their style by following other rules of other artists, did they? No, they came up with their own way of doing it. I was just watching a documentary about Claude Monet last night and about his sunflower painting. There's some rules that were not followed in there that some artists might be judgmental of, as far as he used a whole bunch of different yellows in that painting and kind of harsh brush strokes and different views on the sunflower, different perspectives on it, not just the bright, sunny part of the sunflower blooming in the sun, butterfly or bee landing upon it perspective. No, he used a bunch of different types of yellows and he showed a bunch of different ranges of how the sunflower can look. Of course, the bright, open, blooming sunflower, but there's also side perspectives of it. There's also the wilting and dead perspective of it. the leaves, the underneath of it, the top, the side, all of it, right? So if he were to follow some rules or thinking of what could I create that other people would like, instead of just following the bliss of what he would just love to create from inside out, that's what he came up with. And look, it's one of the most revered and loved paintings of all time. You know what I mean? There's quite a few of these. There's so many we could go through, but a lot of it had to do with these artists throwing out the rules of what they thought they were supposed to be doing for that creation and just doing what they felt they wanted to do, or maybe experimenting with some new mediums and layering things differently. Again, putting mediums together that you would have thought wouldn't have been together. Recently, I've seen stitch work, sewing, crocheting being coupled with painting and canvases to create a beautiful landscape, but a 3D landscape that pops out to you because it's had some crocheted and sewed in flowers in the foreground and the background is painted. And so that gives quite a different beautiful perspective. So I give you permission, guys, throw out all of the rules today. Every single one, forget what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, and reconnect with your inner child to bring that spark back. Okay? Don't be hard on yourself. Again, you don't even have to show anybody. You might have something sitting on your art shelf somewhere that you've been really wanting to try. I have a set of oil paints that I've been really wanting to try, and I will. I'm going to get into it. And I might use some of the techniques to make sure that my oil paint doesn't crack, or that its foundation is laid properly so it doesn't so it lasts over time. But if I give myself permission to do whatever, I throw all that out the window and just follow what naturally comes to me that I want to do with the oil paint. If it cracks later, so what? Then I learned something and I could apply that knowledge to the technique if I really want that. But if I throw out all the rules and I just want to experiment with it and see what happens, what spark and joy comes from that? And you might end up discovering something new, a new technique that could help another artist, find their spark and find a different style of painting or of art or of creating that you never know, because you didn't want to go outside that box of rules and do something wrong or be perceived as a shit artist or somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. You know how many artists followed their spirit and creativity and created something that most other artists in the world did not like, and they would talk shit about it and didn't want it in the gallery next to their art and all types of things. And some of that stuff has become some of the most revered and most appreciated art in the world that millions of people have seen and plan to see every single year. And this is something that maybe the artist didn't even make money from it while they were alive, and they've made millions of dollars afterwards. Just from really expressing themselves and what they wanted to do and forgetting about the rules. So please just follow your heart, guys, of what you want to be doing, not what you think you're supposed to be doing. There's a reason we have intuition. There's a reason we have inner guidance. There's a reason you're not supposed to be comparing yourself and overthinking things. That's why you're just supposed to flow and create from a natural state and the most comfortable state of inspiration and motivation, not a place of comfort in a box, right? But a place of whatever. If you'd rather create outside and you have more motivation creating outside, then go do that. Don't let it stop you because maybe weather's not permitting, or you might not have the proper supplies, or it's too hard, etc., etc. Don't put all those rules and overthinking on yourself. Back before it was easy to take paint outside and be able to paint outside. There were artists that would take their whole setup, oils, tinctures, brushes, canvases, whatever they needed to go sit outside in nature, no matter what the weather, no matter bugs or animals or anything that was happening. They would take all of that and go outside and create just because they wanted to create. They had that desire to create and didn't let anything stop them. No excuses, no bullshit, no rules. Just go create today, you guys. I don't care if it's for 5 minutes or if it's for 2 hours. Go create. And shout out all the noise, please. I cannot emphasize this enough. When I need to focus, I have a bit of an ADHD brain. This is not to claim that or put myself in a box, but I did find that some of the terminology and being able to at least label that and put it in a file that, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. My brain just works differently. Somehow that helped me. I'm not going to claim and label myself, but knowing that some brains work differently, and that's kind of the term that was used for it, has actually helped me quite a lot move past some blockages myself. So make sure that you quiet that out. I've learned that if I turn the TV off, put my phone on airplane mode, and just focus all of my energy on what I'm needing to do now without the distractions of anything. This includes smoking weed, you guys. I love cannabis. I love smoking weed. Part of me finds that it motivates me when I'm creating, but I've had to learn that it can be a hindrance at sometimes too, and it can be a blockage. So I had to go past the, oh, I need to smoke weed to create. No, I don't. That's not true. I can go tattoo for 8 hours straight and not smoke at all and be just fine. So that was just some kind of rule or distraction or procrastination I put upon myself, maybe a fear, right? To, oh, I have to do this and have this music and have this set just right to be able to create. No, you don't. You have the inspiration, you quiet your mind from all the outside fucking chit chat going on, including all the shit on social media, YouTube. You don't have to go research 50 more artists to be able to create what you want to create. You just have to quiet the noise, gain your confidence, forget all the rules, grab your supplies, go be a kid, and go fucking create something, please. You're gonna feel so much better. And that will radiate into other parts of your life. That will radiate into you being more confident about other things and handling other things in your life and looking at them from a different perspective of letting go and allowing and just being yourself from inner to out instead of looking to the outer for all of the answers. We have all the answers in here, trust. So, let me check my notes here. Yeah, we forget that our purpose of creating is just to create. If you're looking at others, like I said, and seeing what to do all the time, trying to go reference all these videos or different books of how to do it before you get started, cut that short now. You have all the knowledge you need and just go start and create. Because where do you find your voice in all of that? What does your voice say? If you're too busy listening to others and again, clouding your brain up with all this chatter and outside noise, there's no way you could possibly hear what your voice has to say. Your voice deserves to be heard, deserves to be seen. Your art deserves to be seen if you want to show it. So forget anything you were told as a child or in any past traumatic relationships that you weren't good enough or that what you said or created didn't matter, because it absolutely matters. You might not see any evidence of it around you mattering right away or at all. It has to matter to you. And you have to know that it is important because you made it. Period, point blank. You are from the creator. You are made from the creator. So you are the creator. Create the most beautiful thing that sits right with your soul, that lights you up on your path. And I promise that that will lead you to a more beautiful and satisfying life. And probably more beautiful creations as well. Not probably, it will. So, one little exercise you could do today besides letting go of all the rules, go ahead and think of some rules and techniques and things that you've been following and acknowledge them of this is how you're supposed to do that. And let's just take, let's say just watercolor. We'll use that as an example. Go ahead and list those techniques and things that are popular and known that you're supposed to be doing with watercolor, right? Look at it all. I want you to ball it up, throw it away, and forget all that. And I want you to do the opposite. Pick anything opposite of how you're supposed to be doing something of, oh, don't paint outside the lines. Paint all outside of the lines. You're supposed to have an outline so you can fill in color after that. Don't. Just throw some color on the canvas or on a clay skull or on an old table that you want to decorate. It doesn't matter what it is. Just take that creation and make it yours. Okay? So that was my main point today. throw out all the rules. I give you permission, even if you don't give yourself permission. Tell everybody that I did. Do the opposite of what you think you're supposed to be doing, and see what perspectives, what new and different perspectives come up for you, and the new way to navigate your life, and a most beautiful way of seeing it. So it will also make you more calm when creating, because you know that things can be done from different types of ways, not just the way that you were told or taught. And it just opens up those new neural pathways in your brain to be able to see these things, these new things in your life. If we're stuck in the loop of doing the same thing every day, and this is how we have to do it, and this is how our day has to go every day, then you are stuck in that loop. You're stuck in that little box, in that one room in your house, and you're not going outside of that room to seeing what else is there. Once you go outside of that room, other things start appearing for you, because then you're open to seeing it, okay? If you are closed off and you think this is the only way, you are in that box. If you've ever seen the video of the ant where it's crawling around on the paper and then the guy draws the black circle around it, and just with a marker, there's not an actual solid barrier there, it's just a marker. But the ant perceives that marker barrier as it's actually trapped now. It sees those as blockages and as lines that it can't go out of, and it won't move out of that circle, even though it can. That is us right now with creation, with reality, with this matrix, this Sims version that we live in to create whatever we want. If you are limiting yourself and you are putting rules and all of these harsh, really harsh, rules, but boundaries on yourself that are keeping yourself trapped, you are that ant. You are the ant that has not an actual boundary around you, not an actual trap, not an actual room or a stuckness. All you have to do is realize that that is an imaginary boundary. That's an imaginary barrier keeping you from your dreams and from your true creation and self. So I hope that helped you guys. Follow the rules of not following the rules of permission that I just gave you. Do the opposite of what you think you should be doing in the most beautiful, creative way, and have the most wonderful day. I do offer free creative reawakening guide that'll give you a few tips and some small action to take, which you can find down below in the description. The link will be there. If you want to go a bit deeper and a bit further with yourself, I do offer one-on-one sessions to speak with me in a Zoom call, and we can address literally what's going on with you, what's happening in your life, and I can give you some small, non-overwhelming action to take to move forward in your life and to get out of this mental stuckness that you might be in. So I love you guys so very much. All of that will be linked in the description. You can set that time up with me or receive your free guide and go from there. I'm here if you have any questions. You can drop them in the comments. And I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Go create. No rules. I give you permission. Bye-bye.